make your head blow off.
Hey, yo, it's a talk show host, Kaynah Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, alpha male G-O-D, one half of Relations. You want to hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good? Welcome to another episode of Relations. My name is Kaynah Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha male G-O-D, 51 Spade, a.k.a. the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building.
You know how we do it. We have two riveting topics in 1 hour. The first topic is effort and the lack thereof, and dating at the level of your self-esteem. This is going to be a pretty good debate show today. Starting with... Let's start with, I'm pretty passionate about both topics. Mm-hmm. We'll jump into effort and the lack thereof. Mm-hmm. I know that you had a reason why this was a good topic for you on the men's behalf. So I'm going to let you speak first, where I find this meme that addresses all this effort that ladies want men to put in. So you start us off today.
I mean, but why I got to be about women?
Well, you're going to take the men's perspective. You had an idea in your head already about the debate about men in general and how they feel about the effort that women say y'all ought to put in.
I just got a DM and it says, men, it's okay to quit on a female that's not even trying. We deserve effort too. Because a lot of these motherfucking bitches out here, I don't know what's going on. It's like a role reversal that's going on. You have a lot of women that want to wear the pants and act like men. So I feel like they be feeling like they don't have to put in no effort like a real woman anymore. So it's crazy to me that it's like, if I call someone, I text someone, I'm showing like full-fledged effort, I expect the same back. Like this chasing type shit, like this shit is over with. Since y'all all equal now, then you got to put in the exact same effort, if more, as I do. So that's my point. What you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for this meme that basically is telling guys who are texting girls that they're sick of what you're doing. They don't want to hear that no more. What they want from men is, hey, I bought tickets, pack your bag, we going on vacation. Hey, I made reservations at a 5-star hotel. You need to be dressed when I get there. I'm sick of WID. Y'all can go somewhere with that. Hit me with something other than what you doing. Let me talk to y'all. Y'all ain't finna run that on me. This is why. Because I'm out there in the dating world. And I would never pay anything or make any plans ahead of time with the women that are out there dating now. Because there's always a reason that they feel like is good enough to either be late, not show up. Yeah, I mean, I'm a person that you got to be respectful of my time. And if I know I have something coming up with you, unfortunately, I kind of prepare all day. Mm-hmm. I'm not running out of the house 10 minutes before our date. Hair while I got my nails done, my hair done, my house is clean, just in case you're coming by afterwards. It's a day. I'm planning all day for this date. So for you to be an hour late, that's disrespecting my time, especially if you didn't call me and say I'm running fucking late. And you need to tell me you're running late 2 hours ahead of time so that I can stop doing a lot or doing extra shit to make sure that we have a great evening. And that might go, and that goes for women and men. It's like, I don't think people really appreciate what others do just because this is something that they wouldn't do. Well, girl, if my friend told me I was going to be late, they was going to be late, I wouldn't care. That's you. Mm. Your friend doesn't care that you don't respect her time. I care that you don't respect mine. Period.
I can see that. That's a catch-22 though. At least being a guy, that could be a catch-22.
How so?
Because, like, granted, if she's late and she show up, she's arriving during fucking hours. That's the way that I look at it. I mean, I'm just being real.
So you get the benefit of skipping dinner.
I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, if I can't take you out to a restaurant or a movie, that's your fault that you showed up late. Now we got to do Netflix and chill, and I feel like a lot of this going to come from that what we doing type shit to, like trying to hold it against me. You know what I'm saying? Because they going to be like, well, you didn't even take me out. Like, you know what I'm saying? The last time we just stayed in your house, because I'm quite sure every man done heard this shit at some point in time, but it's not my fault. If your ass showed up late, where the fuck am I taking you?
Late is like a pebble in a lake. Listen to this. I'm sorry. I'll wait for the don't worry, babe. I got it. Let's go. Let's just go do it. I've planned this for us. Be ready by 8. Instead of where you at, what you doing me to deaths, and I want to see yous. Okay. So where you at, they're tired of where you at, what you doing, and I want to see you text. Okay. But these where you at, what you doing, and I want to see you text are from a lack of effort on the person's behalf that are receiving those texts. Because if you feel like, well, wait a minute, I need to find out what their plans are for the day. That's usually somebody that's really busy that hasn't been making time for you in the first place. So before you make plans, you want to say, what you doing? Before you make plans, you also want to ask where you at. How many times have I called somebody and be like, hey, I thought we was gonna do something. Girl, I'm in South Carolina. Girl, I'm in Miami for the weekend. Again, a lack of communication. If you're dating someone or if you've been talking to somebody, the fact that they're in a whole nother state and city and they didn't tell you is also an indication that they don't respect what the fuck y'all got going on. They're not respecting the courtship. I'm not saying that all their time should be for you, but if you're in a courtship, I'm going to say that instead of dating. If you're in a courtship with someone, then it should be obvious to you that they're going to want to see you. But they can't if your ass is gallivanting and the person doesn't really know how you move.
I like that, gallivanting.
Because it's the correct word to use. You just don't know how a person move. You know what I'm saying? That's weird for a person to go make reservations or buy some airline tickets or make reservations at a restaurant or buy a hotel room and they don't know how to fuck you move. A person who does that knows that a person goes to work at 8, they get the fuck off at 5, their kids play Little League, they know kind of how they move. They have a routine down. That's a person that'll go buy some damn tickets to take your ass somewhere. If you always gallivant and never sitting your ass down, you bad communicating, called lack of effort, and a person is not gonna do that for you. And it's not just men, it's me too. Women who take y'all ass on dates feel the same way too. You don't respect a motherfucker's time and you don't respect effort. So that's where you at, what you doing, and I want to see you comes from. And by the way, if you're courting somebody, how many times the fuck should you have to say, I want to see you? Isn't that supposed to be something you're doing in an active courtship?
You might be running into that because you're dealing with females. Because, see, a lot of times, my philosophy behind that shit is like people be where they want to be. They do what they want to do. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get too much of that. Because I try not to really, and it's going to sound bad, I try not to date women with kids because that shit just like, it just becomes...
God, Tommy broke his arm today. I can't go. Could you imagine buying tickets somewhere?
See, that's the other thing. Women, let me tell you something. Stop telling men your problems when I'm courting you. Stop telling me any problems when it first opened up. That's the quickest way for me to not even want to see your ass no more. It like, that's why I don't really like using that word, what you doing or how's it going or how your day is, because like with a woman, you open up some shit that I was like, this was kind of rhetorical, not really like, I'm just thinking it's just like some regular shit.
I'm
like,
being polite,
yeah,
not literal.
Not like, I don't want to know about, you know what I'm saying, Brandon fell out a tree today, you know what I'm saying, he almost set my house on fire. Like, I'm trying to get to the pussy. And some other shit is going on.
Okay, but see, this is where I want to be definitive with you. Okay. Because the women that are listening heard me, and I feel like they were like, okay, she has a point. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why would a guy do this for me if I'm steady gallivanting and not really being still and letting him be a man and take the lead like that? Because he can't catch my ass. Mm-hmm. He's chasing my tail.
But I dated someone like that, or what you're talking about, and I was accused of that. So
of chasing their tail?
No. Saying that
you're not putting in the effort. I'm
not putting in the effort. So my thing was, and this is why I brought up the situation with kids, is like she had 3 kids, and every time I talk to you, it's something going on. You know, every time I talk to you, it's something going on. And she was like, well, it's always me that's trying to, put the date together. It's always me. You waiting on me. And I'm like, well, I gotta wait on you. We ain't waiting on my kids. Or not. You're not waiting on me to get free.
Right.
I'm waiting on you to get free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of accused of that to the point of, because it was also turning into what I was saying about what you were talking about, being late. She show up, all the restaurants are closed.
So there's nothing else to do but fuck.
You know it.
But this is I didn't want to murk the waters with that comment, because that comment is going to murk the waters, because I feel like people can get on board with that. Okay, respecting people's time, but for you to say, well, I'm trying to get to the fucking, that's going to be their rebuttal to that type of shit.
But see, this is the thing though. This is what we going to have to stop this too. Women be wanting to fuck too. Like, it's just like this general consensus that, like, it's always the men that's trying to hop in something. Those are lies. Those are lies. You know how many times, like, this is why some of the women show up late. Because it's like, well, we ain't really got nothing to do. Like, what we finna do? We finna play Tiddlywinks? Like, we finna play Connect Four? Like, Twister is the only thing I know we finna play at this point in time. Netflix and Twister. So, I mean, they can use that, but if you really wanted me to take you out on a date, then you're going to arrive at the appropriate time. Now, setting up dates can be difficult. I'm speaking now from a man's standpoint.
Okay.
Taking women out, this is a task, especially for any man that know what I'm talking about. Women are always late. I've came up with a system where I got to tell them the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Got to be there at 8, babe, we got to be there at 6. For some reason, we have to adjust time accuracy for y'all, because it's like, we just in time for y'all to get there, then I got to drive there, this and that. So if we talking about just like setting up dates, I mean, I feel like it just depends on who you dealing with and also where you at in your courtship. In
your relationship, your courtship, and your dating.
Not your relationship.
This really got under my skin, and really I wouldn't have had this perspective had I not been really doing some experimenting of my own and really reaching out and seeing. The funny thing is that there's 2 separate people that posted that particular meme. And those 2 people I have been in communication with in the past. And these bitches don't even text back in an appropriate amount of time. You text them at 4, they texting you back at 8 or the next fucking day.
See, I don't like that
how
either.
is it? How is it that a man or whoever their message is to, how is it that these are supposed to be people who would allow you to put them in a position to pre-organize a date, prepay, or make reservations? To me, you're not qualified to make that request if you haven't passed the first 90 days of communicating well. It's not gonna happen. If I text you, you text me back, and we now know each other's movements, we're in a courtship, then of course those expectations should be set. But you setting these expectations where these type of memes are on social media and this is what you're putting out, that this is the type of woman you are, stop doing that, because I know that's not the type of woman that you are. I rebuke anybody paying for anything ahead of time for you, because I would hate for that person to be on the other side of his Visa card, that money's spent and your ass didn't show up. And sorry is enough. I'm sorry I couldn't, or I thought you probably would have put together, because due to my emergency I couldn't come through. Like, stop assuming, first of all, that it's not a big deal, because you don't know what someone else put off to be with you. It could have been another person, place, or thing. There have been times where I had a family function, and the family function is fine and all, but if I really want to be with my boo, I really want to be with my boo. The family function don't even add up. It don't measure up. But I've now come up with a great excuse that I can't go to the family function to hang out with my boo, and my boo don't come through. Then I have a different type of guilt, because I've already chosen this person over something else. And I think people need to realize that there's always something else someone could go do. They chose you. If I'm texting you, or if 51's texting you, or one of your homeboys is texting you, they chose you at that moment to send a text to. Respect that. Respect that, because someone else could have got that text. If someone is inviting you to dinner, respect that. There could have been someone else that got that invitation. So that's first and foremost. Even if you cannot go, respect that the person thought of you well enough to invite you. So have enough respect to call them and cancel and say, next time, now it's your turn to set up something in return, since his failed. Now it's your turn to plan something. You know, just recently I had something planned for 4th of July at my house. Even though, and I was only planning something at my house because I invited someone over and we were going to go out. And she said, why don't we just stay at your crib? We'll have some food, do fireworks, the whole 9. Now, me being extra, I wanted to do the, what do you call it? With the cheese and the crackers, the little board, charcuterie board. I wanted to do that. And, you know, do some nice things, make it real sexy, real elegant. Something told me to hold my brakes. And the only reason why I really held my brakes ultimately is because I had 2 other engagements. We recorded the show on 4th of July, and then we were also invited to another party. So I already had stuff pending. Now, the party that I was invited to was a really good friend, and I don't never get to hang out with her. So I'm like, you know what? I'm either going to do that, or I'm going to have to leave the show, haul ass back to my house, and set up for this guest that I'm having. Well, I had to reach out to the guest. Even though the guest was already invited, had already been planning to come over on the 4th, I had to reach out to them to reconfirm. Hey, because I haven't heard from them the night before. I hadn't heard from them at this point. Now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I haven't heard anything. So if you know you had something planned with somebody, isn't it decent to just call that person that day and say, hey, I know we have plans later, something's going on, I might not make anything. For me to have to reach out and ask and say, hey, you know, I'm just checking in, we got plans today, you coming or not? For me to have to do that is already fucked up in my book. I should not have to do that. You already have an invitation. I'm already hosting you. So it's your responsibility, if you've already RSVP'd, to call and say, I cannot come. If not, you are blatantly disrespecting my fucking time. Blatantly.
Did you block them?
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
because then I'm petty.
Well, we in a petty world. See, this is the thing right here. Well, this is where you getting this shit fucked up. See, I learned this from quite a few back, but that saying is true to fault. Keep that same energy. And see, that's the thing that goes on in this world right now. See, a lot of those people that you talking about right now, I think sometimes motherfuckers don't realize what world we live in. We live in a world right now that motherfuckers that say, hey, I'm busy, then post some shit on Instagram and forgot they told you what they said. You know what I'm saying? We have other people that's like what you were saying about texting. You text them, they don't text you right back. They text you like 4 hours later or some shit like that. I don't like shit like that too, especially when you talking about dealing with a female. I ain't met a fucking woman yet that ain't got their phone attached to their hip or hand. They always on that shit at some point in time. But when I call your ass or text you, you won't ever pick up, or it's taking you 2-3 hours to respond to a text I sent. No. Negative no. I don't care what you say. There ain't no excuse that you gonna make me believe that at some point in time she ain't see that text come through. See, the thing about it, like, I have an Apple phone, you can cut off the reads and all happy shit. Like, this is shit that people act like we don't know that actually goes on. So that's why I said I'm a firm believer of people do what they want to do. When they want to be somewhere, they do. If they don't want to be somewhere,
they're not.
The other thing is options. We in a world full of options. So the same way that you went to these parties and shit like that, and you got like 3-4 options, like, and men get ridiculed for that shit back in the day. Like, you got like 3 women and you doing like now y'all see what the fuck going on. Options. Now that women have options, that's all on their phone and Facebook and Instagram and all this other type shit. They have options now. And they be where they really want to be. And 9 times out of 10 is with the person that make them feel the most stupidest. But, you know, that's another topic. But they have those options. So I give people the exact same energy that they give me. And you called it petty. If someone don't text me back within an hour, they might not get a text back from me within an hour. They might not get a text back from me at all. I'm petty like that.
Well, this is the reason why I won't block. This is why I won't go petty. because I know life happens. There is honestly things that happen that control the destiny of the date. Things could happen. My argument is not that there isn't a good reason.
Yeah, you want to respond.
My argument is the lack of communication and then the big enough ego to say that the people who you are dealing with aren't putting in the effort. They're putting in as much effort that is coming from you.
But you ever think that they might not respect you on that level? Because, see, that's a hard thing to check, too. Like, how much someone respects you and your level. Like, there's certain times when I hear women talking and be like, oh, this guy's treating me like shit and I'm going through a whole bunch of shit, but they waiting by the phone. You see what I'm saying? So you respect the person that's treating you like shit and you trying to get over there to see him where you done caught somebody in his bed and you doing all this shit. But this is the phone call you waiting on. No. Like, this is what world that we live in.
Yeah. That's funny because our next topic that we're going to segue into is dating at your self-esteem. So we're just going to pick up right there because it's the perfect segue. When we came up with this subject, me, myself, usually I do a self-reflection. Dating at your self-esteem. I think it's absolutely true. I think we do date at our self-esteem. And the reason why I can say that that's true is because I went through every single one of my past boyfriends. And at the level I am now, at Miss Kaynah lassiter level, I would never date my high school boyfriend. The guy that took my virginity couldn't even blow at me. At all. It just... So that has to be true. That the woman that we evolve into is a reflection of who we end up with, and vice versa. Who we think of ourselves back then. I was asked the question, well, what was it? Was it your weight? It was just, that was the best I thought I could get at the time. My high school boyfriend, horrible pick. If I wrote down the pros and cons, why did I pick him? Oh, he made me laugh. I didn't have a boyfriend my senior year, and no one else was trying. It wasn't like there was a whole bunch of people saying, Kaynah, be my girlfriend. He was the only one. So it's hard to say, but also not hard to say. I'm talking about my 17, 18-year-old self. If you can't say you're better than your 17, 18-year-old self, then I feel sorry for you because you should be better than you were at 17 and 18 years old. So I could definitely say that I dated at the level of what I thought of myself. Now that's going to hit hard based on some of the things I'm going to say now. If you got a corner boy, you're dating at your self-esteem. I don't give a fuck how much money he bringing in because that's short-lived. Okay? If you dating a dude that sag his pants, you're dating at your self-esteem. I'm going to look at your man and I'm going to wonder who the fuck is he going home to? Because ain't no way in hell you can walk in and out of my house with your ass showing. It's just not going to work for me. So when I look at these men absolutely feeling now that question has been posed, what is his woman going through? Where is she at in her life that she can't say to her guy before he leaves, pull up your pants?
But I feel your point. I really, really, really do. But there is a flaw in that theory of yours that you're talking about. Okay. That flaw that you're talking about is what you're talking about is the example of what they call that shit. You turn into a swan.
Ugly duckling.
Yeah, ugly duckling to a swan. See, that shit don't happen for everybody because there is a such thing as like pretty girl privilege. I've watched women who are from toddler. They've always just been cute and pretty, and this is the ones that even, I hate to say it, that even the uncles looking at, hey, come sit on my lap, that get molested and shit like that. They just always have this pretty girl privilege. So they self-esteem a lot of times also works against them. They have pretty women, like I've approached women sometimes, hey, what you doing over here by yourself? And sometimes how pretty they are keeps men from approaching them too. So that guy that you're talking about with the sagging pants might look at him like, this bitch is way out of my league, and might not ever approach her. You see what I'm saying? And I've been in situations like that where it's like everybody a look, but the approach is like, okay, who gonna go over there and try to approach? Now, don't get me wrong. The difference between men and women is guys. There's always a guy that's like, hey, I'll go through 99 no's to get to that 1 year. There's always guys out there like that. It's not like that for women. Pretty women typically don't chase. You know what I'm saying? It's always the fat girl that, hey, what you going, where you going home, and all this type of shit. Like, I know every man that dealt with this shit. Like, you be like, it's never the fucking dime in the club that's trying to holler at me. It's the one at the bottom of the barrel. Like, you know what I'm saying? She got all the nuts and she want to fuck too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't even a guess.
Aggressive as hell.
Yeah, she's just aggressive as hell. But pretty women don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will not approach you. Like, if it's 4 fine ones, but it's typically not, it's 3 fine ones, 1 fat one. But it's, you know, it's like the one that you gotta get through the pack when y'all in the club. I gotta go through your bodyguard, which is the big one. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get you separated from the pack, but it's becoming a lot difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because they doing a credit report on me right in front of my face and shit. Like, he looks all right, girl. You know, ain't nobody asked you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking to her. So that sometimes dating in your self-esteem, it could flip and be a little different, because I've met pretty women who, even though they won't approach, they think they're not pretty. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look pretty to us. And this time I'm talking about, she was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, guys don't really approach me like that. They feel like a little intimidating and stuff like that. So she only was dating what would approach her. And sometimes that ain't good either.
That was below sea level.
Yeah, sometimes that's not good either. Mm-hmm. And I often tell women, like, earlier on, like, you probably need to travel a little bit more and kind of get outside the environment. Like, being in the hood, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't been in the hood, but for the most part, we all know what I'm talking about. But dating inside your environment a lot of times is not good. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you want to be well cultured and a little bit more traveled. Look, make your money, get out, go to different places, date around and see what kind of guys. And this will stop some of y'all women from making the mistakes that y'all do dating inside the circle. Like, you don't have to do that shit and then get pregnant and then be stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that happened because you ain't cultured enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to date inside your environment. I met this woman one time, told me she was having a panic attack, anxiety attack, because she like, this is all I got to choose from. I'm like, the world is an oyster. You don't have to date inside just the hood. Go to the next state.
Well, you're preaching to the choir, because you're talking to someone who doesn't think that they can do better or doesn't think there is better. There's this one girl that I'm friends with on social media who always has the worst men trouble. Mm-hmm. And then she went through probably a good week string of talking about this guy that was so good to her, and she couldn't wait to be reunited with him. At the time, I didn't know that he was locked up. I didn't know he was locked up to the prior week when I got a picture of a jailhouse pose. Right. The whole thing. And I was taken aback, because she's free with 2 kids. She's not dog ugly. She's not the greatest looking either.
This your friend?
No, she's just somebody that I know.
Okay.
But I said something on her page. I can't remember what it was. It was like 3 dots, but it was like I was confused. And she was like, what? And I just didn't say anything. I was like, Kaynah, leave it alone. Leave it alone. She's never going to get it. Mm-hmm. But what it was like, why him? Mm-hmm. He's fucking locked up. You already choose bad. You know you choose bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So why did you make a blatant bad choice? I don't give a fuck if he in there for some shit he didn't do. You free and he locked up. Choose again. Mm-hmm. You understand? I can understand if y'all was together and he went and you trying to hold it down. Trust me, I'm not coming at y'all that are with men who are incarcerated. I get it. But if you're single and you're free and you think well of yourself, why the guy that's in prison? Why?
That's the thing, though. How you think of yourself. You just hit the key word, how you think of yourself.
Yeah.
And see,
unfortunately, that's exactly what it is.
See, a lot of times, and I'm quite sure this didn't happen to people, sometimes when I meet a woman, they might appear to me like, damn, this motherfucker fine. You know what I'm saying? She look good, this and that. And the more you dive, and you don't even have to dive sometimes because they tell you
in the shallow end.
Yeah, they start telling you shit that you start becoming more and more unattractive the more I talk to you. And I often hear women say that about men, but it happens to men from women. And
absolutely.
So I'm quite sure talking to your associate, I could probably read that shit real quick. And the very first thing I could say just from hearing you talk is like, there ain't no dad and she don't have a father in her life. Because there's no way that I feel that you could have 2 kids and not looking to better yourself and a father be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. I ain't raised you like this. So there has to be, number one, that absent. And now, there are people out here that just like, don't judge a book by its cover just because he's locked up, and I get that.
I already set the disclaimer that every situation is different. I'm just saying the commiserating beforehand. I only know her business because she's putting it on social media. Baby daddies ain't shit. She can't find a good man. Can't I just find this? Can't I just find that? And then you find someone who can't even give you everything that you just were asking for. Your choices are just dead ass wrong. My conundrum is someone who is well spoken like myself and doesn't mind telling somebody I was at a loss for words at how she doesn't know what I was trying to communicate by not saying nothing.
Because y'all don't be telling y'all associates or friends or whatever y'all need to tell them the truth. See, that's the difference between men and women, I feel. See, a lot of times, like, men will tell they
homeboy don't fuck with
look, don't fuck with that dog. Like, you ain't even set up for that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what men do. You know what I'm saying? We give blatant truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone like, look, you pull out game week, don't be fucking with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing that men do. But with women, y'all do not do the same shit. Y'all let women go out in clothes they shouldn't wear. Y'all let them fuck with men they shouldn't be fucking with. Y'all even duck off so y'all friends won't even be able to judge y'all on the type of person that
that's what they're doing.
That y'all actually around. Yeah, but you still know your people. Like, of my circle, I know who gonna fuck with who the type. Like, if I'm in a club and my homeboy give me that look, I'd look at him, dog, now you just got out this relationship. Like, come on now, we finna jump in this. Like, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some time to heal. Like, sometimes you gotta be upfront. And I feel like a lot of times with women, and because women are told like the world is their oyster, they feel like there's no limit to some shit that they can do, and they think they can make lemon out of lemonade every time.
Oh, that's some hell of a sour lemonade when you taking them calls and you gotta pay that bill from that high ass, them damn prison calls. That's hella lemonade.
So you said that you were speechless. So why you didn't say anything to her?
Because because in my heart of hearts, I wanted her to already know where the fuck I was coming from with the 3 dots that I left.
But she don't know that.
But and that to me is sad because she's someone's fucking mom.
But just because she's someone, there's people out here that shouldn't be parents. Like, just because you got kids don't make you qualify.
This is the thing. It's when it's someone who gives a homeless person $10 every time you see him, but the person is getting no better. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to drive by without saying anything. It's going to hurt you not to give him the money because he's a nice person and he's always clean and he's always respectful and you got the $10. But it's like, God damn, bro. Like, you done collected $10 from me every day this fucking week. Take a day off. And that will piss you off. And so that's the feeling that I had. You have helped me commiserate with you by the messages and the images that you're putting out on social media. And I'm an encourager. Oh, it's going to get better. Fish from another pond. Oh, you're gorgeous. You're beautiful. I'm being encouraging and having conversation with a person I wouldn't even normally be talking to, but because she's a supportive Facebook friend, I want to be a supportive Facebook friend. So I'll write things of encouragement. So it's a slap in the face that after all the encouragement and all the things that you said you wanted out of a great guy, that now you got a picture of a motherfucker in a jailhouse pose. Telling the world that he just loves you so much and you can't wait till he come home. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Bad choice.
Females.
Bad choice. And you know what? She already knows it's a bad choice. That's why she said what? Because even though it was that
right there.
That's that shit where they know they done fucked up. What?
See, that right there. See, that was your segue. Anytime a person says what, that's your segue to get in and hammer your shit in. Like, you don't even have to feel bad about it at that point in time.
Because they know better. You know by the what, they know better.
So that, you miss your segue. Like, when she said what, that was when you was like, listen, girl, like, you know better. Like, what is he? Like, you could have just went down a list of shit that could go wrong, possibly wrong, can't go right. All kind of shit. Like, that's your segue to get on in there. Because I'm like that too. Like, if my homeboy do some shit, like, you know, y'all done heard the stories, some shit, I warn my homeboy not to cheat. Well, you know, man, it's like, and now I gotta hear the call home when he trying to rush home because his girl done found out. Now, I could turn the other cheek and be like, damn, that's fucked up. But no, I don't do no shit like that. So I told your ass that this shit was gonna happen. See, my job is not to make them feel better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I told you, fucking with someone at your job was gonna get your ass busted. You know what I'm saying? He don't need to hear no nice shit from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, how far you away from your house? She couldn't have tore up that much shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got time to get there and savage some shit. You know what I'm saying? But the warning, I don't never want him to use it. Is like, well, why you ain't say something? I did. Remember that time I told you it was a bad idea with fucking with someone at your job? Not to do it? That time I said that? This is why you here.
The funny thing is, for me, I want to say this, but I don't. But I'm going to say it anyway. It's almost, for me, when a person gets themselves in the spider web out of a bad choice that I warned them about, it's almost gratifying. Because it's like you fucking knew better. You knew better. And it's like, from there, it's a fresh start, because now you can always remind that person that we could be doing this again. And now you kind of have, it's almost like you gotta let your kid touch the stove and get a burn. If you keep warning them, it's kind of like, you know what, you keep warning me, but I think I'm superhuman, you know, like the Black Widow. She got superpowers, I got superpowers too. I need to touch the stove, it's not gonna burn me, mommy. So they burn their hand, and then from the pain, you're able to say, remember? When you touched the stove and it burned, I almost think that women, maybe not men, but I almost think that women just learn that way better. They have to. We have a problem with prejudging. Oh, he's in jail, but he's a good guy. And when he comes out, he's really going to be ambitious, and he's going to. I've been there. You believe so much in that person, and I am myself an optimist. So I am very optimistic about things. So if I'm dating somebody and I believe in them, then I would probably take that same road and be optimistic about the person, or at least the situation. It's gonna take the person to fuck me over for me to understand what my friend is trying to tell me, or what my guy friend is trying to tell me. I had a guy friend once that told me, your friend is a hoe. I was offended by that. The girl had been my friend for years. Was she a hoe? Until she showed me that she a hoe. She my friend.
But was she a hoe?
Now, she turned out to be a hoe.
Okay. See, this is the problem.
No. It can't be a problem, because now you're asking me to prejudge someone who's never showed me that they're a hoe. No. You cannot do that. You cannot go that far now. I'm going to say that just to play devil's advocate, because sometimes you can be wrong. And listen, and women have been accused 100,000 times now of picking their men over their friends. This not. Come on, man. Give me this. Because come on, man. Come on.
We finna really go there. We really finna go there. I'm trying not to do it. But you forcing my hand.
It's just not right.
Birds of a feather flock together. We all know this. You're forcing my hand. You don't have to know if your friend's a hoe. But look at this circle that you're in. Y'all all operate in different ways. I could even say that about, my circle, whatever. But if someone from the other side was to be like, well, your homeboy a hoe, I could think about that for a second. and then think about my whole circle and how we run them. You know what I'm saying? So it's no different from y'all. You're not prejudging some shit. You know what all your people are capable of.
That's not true.
Yeah, okay.
That's not true. You can have a promiscuous friend that has been very loyal to you that you wouldn't dream would fuck your boyfriend. You just wouldn't until she does it. You can't walk into my life as my new man and be like, hey, I want you to stop hanging with Tanya. She a hoe. Well, how you know she a hoe?
This is what's fucked up about y'all. It's crazy to me that y'all can have a circle of friends and be like, I can't prejudge that friend of that, and you can't tell me she a hoe. But let me walk home with my home girl, and you can prejudge everything about her. She want to fuck you. You prejudging then. She works with me, baby. No, she wants you. Y'all can do all this like X-ray vision type shit all the way till it comes to y'all friend. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, I can't prejudge nobody like that. Let me walk. But you won't got no problem prejudging my boss, my friend, any of this other shit. You see they whole tendencies, but all of a sudden the slate is white clean when it come to your friend because she's in a promiscuous state. Like, does this make any sense? No, it does not.
No, what I'm saying is you can't. Let's say you had a 20-year friend. Mm-hmm. Your friend stole from someone else, but has never stole from you. Mm-hmm. That one person that they stole from has labeled your friend a thief. Mm-hmm. So they come to you and they say, hey, don't leave anything around your best friend, Ashley. She's a fucking thief. But you've been Ashley's friend for 20 years and you've left thousands of dollars around Ashley and she never took. So in that situation, you would have to seriously wait until Ashley fucked up to put her in the category of a thief and start treating her as such. Because she has never stolen from you is what I'm saying.
I can get all that. Ashley come in my house. She's sitting in the designated seat. You know, I don't wait for shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what me and you differ. If I got the warning, see, that's what's wrong with women. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you showing the difference. Like a man, you can be like, hey, you know, Tommy still. He ain't never stole from. That's the only thing I need. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time, Tommy got eyes on him all night. I don't give a fuck, like, what's going down.
Even if Tommy never stole from you before.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this story. I'm going to tell you this story. No shit. Just some real shit. Let me tell you this story. I was doing... It's people that know me. I used to engineer and record people. I had a session one day. I was messing with a chick. Her friend was there. I had a guy come in, and he started doing the session. While he was in the middle of the session, the girl was like looking, and her friend came to me and pulled me. And I'm like, what's up? I didn't even really know her. She pulled me, and she was like, that dude that you got in that booth, she was like, he stole $800 from me. Now, I done known... I mean...
Oh, shit. We gotta cut. We gotta edit. You said names. Shit.
I done known him a long time. Never stole from me. Never did any of those things. But that don't make him not a thief. Now, I could believe what I know of him versus what she telling me of him. Mm-hmm. Did I end the session? No. She walked outside, her and a friend. They carefully carved his car up while he was in the session.
Fucked his shit up.
Now, does that make him not a thief? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it pretty much makes him...
It doesn't make him a thief. It doesn't make him not a thief. What it does is it planted a seed in your head now that makes you deal with that person differently, and that is where I'm going to disagree. And I'm going to say it for all women, which is probably their rebuttal to me. So the whole show, what I've been saying is, hey, take your warning. But that's going to be the rebuttal is, Kaynah, you cannot judge a person by what they did to someone else.
Gotcha. So in that scenario right there, if you receive that information, would you leave your purse out if he was in the room? Would you go to the bathroom and leave your purse there and someone just told you he stole $800 from them? Would you leave it there?
If I had a history from him and he had never stolen me before, yes, I would leave my purse.
Okay, dummy.
If he had never stolen me from me before.
In the words of Fred Sanford, you big dummy. But see, that's the thing. I'm glad you actually said that, because now I know why women be in messed up situations in relationships. Mm-hmm. Y'all always giving the benefit of the doubt when the facts are right there in your face.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, if I was dating somebody, or let's just say, like, I just met someone, mm-hmm. and then everybody is saying she's a hoe, it wouldn't put me on E Street. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't just classify her as one, but it would have my guard up where I'm have to start deciphering for myself, like, how she is. I just wouldn't put it in.
Well, that's the same thing we do.
No, y'all don't.
Because you just said, if your homeboy say, hey, man, she's a hoe, that doesn't mean you're going to classify her as a hoe, but your guard is up, you're going to watch her. That means she's got to prove to you that she's either a hoe or she ain't one.
Yeah, but you just said that your guard all the way down. If he ain't never proved to me he stole, so my purse is staying put. And you just going to go in another room and wait to come back to realize that your purse missing. That's a lot different. See, me, I'm going to take my shit with me. My guard is up.
This is so hard for me, because you could miss out on your soulmate.
See?
Really judging somebody based on who they were to someone else. I have to say that. And I've been sitting here talking the whole opposite, but I want to play devil's advocate, and I want to do that because there are some men I passed over mm-hmm. for little things. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I regret it. I'm in a great relationship now.
You might have done.
But what I'm saying is I will never know, mm-hmm. because there was something that I heard or something that they did that turned me the other way. So that relationship never evolved. For some people, they lost their husband.
But I didn't say turn the other way. But there's also nothing wrong with having your guard up, like. The situation that you were just talking about the girl dating somebody in jail. I just watched this girl on social media, which I would often say someone like that, you need a hero. You need a hero. And I don't even remember this girl, Instagram or whatever it was, but I was scrolling on Instagram and she started saying shit like she only date men who can take care of her. She was like, that's her philosophy. She was like, I only date men who can take care of me. And if you a man who's broke, you shouldn't be dating. If you in this world where you can't give a woman her proper needs of wants or this and that, you shouldn't be dating. This is her philosophy behind the whole shit. Because we talking about standards, right? Mm-hmm. Part of that, I was taken back. It just as a man. I was taken back for a second, but I was like, you know what? For her. Just her. If that's how she rock, that's good for her. Because 9 times out of 10, that scenario where you painted where this guy can come out and not take care of your associate and they both be in a project would never happen to this girl. So that's why I say she need a hero. Maybe she need to see people like this
who set their standards.
Who set their standards where she won't be in no scenario talking to somebody that's in jail.
Because he doesn't meet the standards.
Exactly.
And it's not saying that, hey, I won't date anybody in jail, but I also date people who have income, and if you're in jail, you ain't got no income. Yeah. So that automatically crosses him out. I think to think of it that way is better, and that would be my advice going forward. If we're bringing the subject full circle, to keep yourself from making bad choices, you make a list of things that you don't accept. But if we're talking about choosing someone based on your self-esteem, at a point in your life, if you're 18, 19, and you ghetto fabulous, you don't mind a dude that's sagging his pants. You don't mind a dude that's selling rock and molly, because that's the lifestyle that has turned you on at 18 and 19 years old. Mm-hmm. But as a 40-year-old, you'll look back at your 18, 19-year-old and be like, what the fuck was I doing with him? Mm-hmm. It would be nice if we could raise our daughters to skip picking guys based on where they are in life. Unfortunately, I don't feel like that we can. No matter what we do, your daughters most likely are gonna date where they are. They're gonna date on their level.
Well, it's a lot of. Well, I don't feel like that's their level though. I feel like it's a lot of single households, woman-raised households that's out there. So now we have this thing going on where it's like the women are raising the women to be men, and they raising the men to be women. It's like a gender role that's basically going on. So if
gender role reversal.
A reversal. So if you telling them to look for a real man, it's gonna be a small percentage of real men that's actually out there. And it's going to be a small percentage of women that's out there because they don't even really realize or know or have even learned how to be a woman. So they're coming at it from a different standpoint of actually just being a man to me and acting that way. But if they had a father there, if it was a 2-parent household and there was a father in the household, who stops when the woman is dating from them dating some bullshit? How it typically went when a girl was coming up in that dating, you had to meet who?
Your parents.
You had to meet the dad.
Yeah.
You know how many times, like, when I was coming up, I encountered that shit?
Yeah.
Like, you got to meet my dad. Like, that's...
that's a part of people's even verbiage.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying women making a lot of mistakes because there's not a father there to put that in play and stop some of the shit. Like, I have a daughter. And know what my daughter say? You gotta meet my dad at some point in time. And she already know.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
Right.
No way, no shape, no form. Another man can look at another man and tell if he's
full of shit,
worthy, full of shit, anything. And I can tell my daughter right now.
I really think that's missing. That kind of, when you said that, it made me sad because I watch a lot of coming of age movies, and that is missing. There aren't those parts even written in movies anymore where this guy's coming over and you're meeting, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Like, what's up? You taking, my daughter to the prom and, just doing manly things. And I think it's not even written in movie scripts anymore. So it's not even a part of our fantasy and our entertainment world anymore. So we know those conversations aren't going on.
But you know what's written in there?
And that's really sad.
And you know what's written in there? A bunch of women saying men ain't shit and take care of yourself. And this is why they being raised like that.
Yes.
And even though they don't want to hear it, I'm not saying women can't do or live in this world. But if you put a woman in charge of some shit long enough, they gonna fuck up. It's not
serious?
I'm dead serious.
You can't say that.
I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Y'all need to hear this. Everybody can make mistakes. And I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, like, when you're in a relationship, like, even relationships are not 50-50. Y'all not looking for someone that's 50-50. You're looking for someone to really lead. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're looking for someone to lead. Let's just be honest. That's because true. If you're leading, you might lead us somewhere where we ain't want to be. You know what I'm saying? For real. So, I mean, understand what I'm saying by saying this. That if you leave them in charge longer, and most women don't even want to be in charge. Like, if they dating a real man, they be like, thank God, take the reins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm saying it from that standpoint, not a chauvinistic point of view or anything like that. At the real point, like, most of them are looking for a man to lead. And until they find one, they're leading. But they also leading themselves into mistakes, into the wrong man, to a man who done took them for money, to a man who used them for their car, to mismanaging their pussy. Like, it's a whole bunch of shit that's going
There's such
down.
Thing as mismanaging your vagina. That is the proper term.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy that you don't even know this. Yes, it's called y'all whole period. Mismanaging your pussy. Like, realistically, yes, that's what it is. Because do you want to sit down with your man and discuss your body count? Because depending on the type of man that you dealing with, you gonna watch his face go from real calm to wondering who he just picked. Mismanagement. And you gonna have to sit there and describe your mismanaged skills.
You really get on my nerves with the whole mismanagement topic. That is a whole nother topic. So we're going to switch it to the tap in for He Made Me Mad like you do every damn show.
What you mean?
I hope you got a good tap in today. Ooh.
All right.
Mismanaging of the... You know what?
Hey, I call it like I said. It is what it is.
Okay, if you guys don't know what the tap in portion of the show, it's your stories and your questions. Make sure you tap in at spadeperry.com.
All right, we're going to go into the tap in. Tap in, go like this. Oh, Lord. All right. Been with my wife over 7 years. Everything seems like it's been going smooth and hunky-dory. You got to be white. But as of lately, my wife's tend to be moving a little different, and I was starting to get a little suspicious of her. I was feeling that she was cheating on me. She started dressing how she normally don't dress. She was staying out later than she normally does and saying that she was out with her friends, coming home a little bit later. Yeah, he definitely got to be, you know, and I ain't even going to say that. You know what I'm saying? Just some
it could be a brother.
Of the beta.
It could be a beta male.
Of the beta male.
Right.
Until I found my proof. I stumbled upon her talking on Messenger with another guy, saying that they was having intimate sexual relations. I've already had suspicion of this, but now I have the concrete proof. What do I do? What do you do? I'll let you take this and I'll come back.
I'm going to take the mature approach.
I thought you might.
If you're married, well, I'm going to take it circumstantial. If they're married, it's worth a conversation. Mm-hmm. I think you should probably sit on it. I've learned, like, I swear to God, I'm not blowing my own horn, but I swear to God, I grow leaps and bounds like every 2 weeks. Because I found shit in my partner's phone that's very fucking questionable. Now, I know everything is open to its interpretation. Mm-hmm. So if you go through someone's phone or go look in their computer and you read their messages, you have to interpret the subject because those two people aren't there. You're reading what they said to each other. Mm-hmm. But I've seen some shit that made my fucking blood fucking... I was so mad, so hurt, and I cried most of the day. But again, I had to remember, this is my interpretation of the conversation, and it wasn't a lot said. It was just what was said. I felt like I knew what they were talking about.
But did you find detailed messages about?
I did not, but I did not. But my advice is not that. Mm-hmm. My advice is about the communication part. Okay. You should sit with it. Mm-hmm. I sat with it and opted not to say anything. Mm-hmm. Months have passed since then. And there has been enough said about the person in the text that I don't believe it's worth the conversation anymore. If something was going on when I found it, it's over. So if you just let your emotions simmer, a lot of times more information will come to you, or information that will help you understand someone's choices will come to you. In this situation, he has details, so there is no question of what happened. But what I'm saying is, so he can communicate with a straight head, that he needs to sit with it. I'm telling you, it helps. If you are responding on emotion, which is being pissed off, mad, hurt, and betrayed, you're going to right your wrong. Because being mad will make you, you're going to wrong your right. It'll make you say shit that now the other person has to argue back with you about. So I'm going to start this argument. I went through your computer, or I went through your phone. So guess what the argument is going to be for the next 45 minutes? Why the fuck were you in my phone? And why the fuck was you in my laptop? Who gives a fuck what I found now? Mm-hmm. I got to spend the next 45 minutes explaining why I was creeping in this person's shit. Mm-hmm. But had I sat down and simmered about it, I could have found another way to come and not even have to tell on myself. So when you're mad, you're going to tell on yourself. You know, you could find ways to deliver a message or have a conversation about something you found without even exposing that you found it. So my advice to him is not on what to do about his relationship. My advice is what to do at his level of emotion right now as far as communicating. Do not do it. Do not do it. Let it sit for a minute.
I found you in him. Standing in the rain. I'm cutting up everything. The credit cards. I'm taking all that shit back. Let me tell you something. It's a difference between women and females, I see. And you're right. Certain things are circumstantial, but I'm going to tell you something that I definitely know about species. And this is where this doesn't work. When a man cheats, often, majority of the time, it could be purely just sexual. It can definitely not mean absolutely nothing. When a woman cheats, Nigga, she two probably corners from being out the house, and you about to come home one day and all her shit gonna be gone. Mm-hmm. You read that shit, she is unemotionally not attached to your ass and emotionally attached to somebody else. And you know how much lying and how much creeping it takes for another man to get you out of Mary's house? She is in love and it is over. Yeah. I don't care what you do. You can do that shit about like going to counseling and everything like that. That shit ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes it's infatuation. I know a married woman who is very infatuated with a piece of dick, but she stayed in it long enough to see that he was just that, a piece of dick, and she ended up staying with her husband. Mm-hmm. And she had some nasty sex with this guy. I'm talking about nasty, uninhibited, nasty sex. Mm-hmm. And she proved to be a real dick. Mm-hmm. And she ended up, her husband doesn't know, she ended up staying with her husband and cutting off that communication. And this is a 20-year marriage.
Gotcha. I saw this meme one time, and it was a woman in bed, and she was looking at her man while he was sleeping. And she was just staring at his ass. You knew she had some information that was wrong, and she went across his face like with a light jab, and swung it down, and then acted like she was sleeping. He just woke up, and that's what you would be waking up with if you stay in my house. Like every night that I stay across from you, you gonna be waking up. I'm not gonna pretend to be asleep. You just gonna be woke up out your sleep, because this is how I'm gonna feel. Like, you telling the difference between men and women. I give women all the credit in the world. Like, women are some strong individuals. Like, when it come to cheating, y'all will cry and y'all sit in corners and be like, woe is me and shit like that. You tell a man that you been with another man and let him sit with those thoughts and that shit that you just said right there, nasty sex, and you want me to sit with that shit? Like, there ain't no way I'ma be in counseling. Like, they gonna have to sedate me. Like, for real, like, there is no man want to picture his woman being drilled by another man. That's just the reality of it. Like, he might say we can get over this shit, but guaranteed those triggers that pop up in his head at any point in time, like anything, like this was the dress that you was wearing that night you was out on that Thursday, you might catch a right cross. Like, it's gonna be things that's just gonna send me into like another state where it ain't me. But I'm just gonna say, from the standpoint of finding detailed sex, you can take the high road. I give people both missions, but I'm saying from my personal standpoint, emotionally, if someone infiltrated your house like that,
it's a done, bro.
It's over. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel. So my thing is, brother, move on. You know, I hate that happened to you, but at least now you know the truth.
And you can always tune in to an episode of Relations to make you feel better. This is Kaynah Lassiter. You can find me on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Kaynah Lassiter.
Hey, you can find your boy on both platforms. It's 51 Spade on Twitter and IG. I want to thank everybody for joining on Podbean. Hey, y'all can check us out every Friday on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Support the movement. If you're looking for the shirts, it's alphamalegodcreations.com. And like I always say about this time, peace.